You're too emotional when it comes to thing of race.
Russo'sBrand.com, where the pros are the pros. Now, this letter, this is a brand member who is a very, he's a great brand supporter.
Is he a black guy or a white guy?
Well, you're going to know in a minute. Luis Martinez.
Who's got no, go ahead. I can't wait.
Here we go.
Here
we go.
You
get a dog in the fight, but
here comes some history now, baby.
And
let's go.
I did get his permission. I said, Louis, I want to share this on the show if it's cool with you, because I know Stevie likes when we hear from readers, and he says, no problem. Here's what he said.
Okay.
I saw the clip yesterday with you and Stevie Ray yesterday, and man, it was a great conversation and very good points brought up by Stevie, but I think he's missing the point on a lot of things when it comes to Hulk Hogan. He's older and looks at things differently. I'm from the South Bronx, Vince.
Who cares?
137 and Brook Avenue. It was tough growing up in the early 90s with crack and murder all over the streets. And New York was just a crazy time. But to escape that world, and my friends would put me on the TV depending on who had cable and watched Hulk Hogan and the NWO, because it was like the cool hip-hop group to us, and we all looked at Hogan as the leader. So as a community, we always thought, man, Hogan is one of us or he's down with us. Long story short, it was bad enough he got caught saying the N-word, but what Stevie is missing in all this, I know he helped them, and I know he did some things for black people in wrestling, but what a lot of black people from the hood are angry about is he throw us a bone once in a while, but when it comes to dating his daughter, color have been dealing with this for so long when it comes to dating a white girl, because it's always in the back of your mind, is her parents racist? So that's what really hurt a lot of us from the hood. On top of his apology that he gave, and I remember going on the news saying he grew up saying the N-word with black friends. We all know that's a bunch of BS. He would have his shit rocked if he thought he can come to the hood saying the N-word. So I guess he would have got his shit rocked if he would have thought he can come to the hood and say the N-word. Plus supporting Trump and saying he is his hero. LOL, come on. There's other things I can point out, but don't want to take up more of your time. Just wanted to let you know what a lot of people in the inner city feels about Hulk Hogan. Thanks for your time, Vince. So this is a young man from the South Bronx who looked up to Hulk Hogan as a kid, but he's saying this is how the black community looked at Hulk after making these comments. Stevie, what do you have to say about that?
This guy is black?
That's what he says. Yeah.
And his name is what again?
Luis, Luis Martinez.
That sounds black to you?
Well, but
or
that's
Puerto Rican or something, one of those Caribbean guys.
Yeah.
Because he didn't identify. Just because you in the hood, that don't mean you black. Let's get that straight right now. I'm talking to you, Vince. I come from the South Bronx. So did Avi. And he's Jewish. So what I'm trying to see what the context is on him talking about being from the hood, and that's supposed to be something different. Firstly, Luis, if you're not African American, if you're African Latino or anything outside of that, I don't want to hear it, bro. Because that means you done said the N words way more time than Hulk Hogan. Let's get that straight right now. And I want him to hear this when this gets dropped. Secondly, whatever trepidations you have, Lewis, with Hulk Hogan, that has nothing to do with my diatribe as it pertains to Hulk Hogan. If you lost respect for him, if you don't like what he said, this, that, and the other, I never said I liked what he said. This is the thing about people when they listen to people talk, they don't know how to interpret what the other person is saying because your mind doesn't go that far. You have a limited mindset. My diatribe as it pertained to Hulk Hogan was that just because a person like you, Lewis, and people in your neighborhood, Lewis, that says the word Lewis, that does not mean that they implement racist things. Saying a racist word is totally different from being a racist that implements racism on a daily basis. Now, when you say a lot of black, when I was saying how many black wrestlers who is going to be the closest to you in whatever your occupation is, when you are a round paper, let me give you, and I don't know if you remember this, Carl and Vince, I don't know if you remember this either. Football player, tight end, by the name of Riley Cooper, a few years ago for the Philadelphia Eagles. He works with blacks all the time. 69 to 70% of the NFL is black. Lewis, Riley Cooper is at a concert with his white buddies, not NFL players, his white buddies. And I think the concert was Kenny Chesney or something like that, some country western guy.
Glenn Campbell?
I got nothing against Kenny West.
Was it Glenn Campbell maybe?
Could have been. Okay. Could have been a derivative.
Now, this Riley Cooper, is this the guy that was in A Star Is Born with Lady Gaga?
No. No.
Okay, I'm confused. Okay, so he played for the Eagles. He's at a Glenn Campbell concert.
Yes. No.
Okay.
Kenny Chesney.
Kenny Chesney. Okay. Now, is Kenny Chesney, was he the guy at the Nathan's that ate all the hot dogs?
Can I finish?
Well, you're confusing me with these names. Is that Kenny?
Can I finish?
That's Kenny Chestnut. So this guy, Riley Cooper, went to the Nathan's hot dog eating contest to see Kenny Chestnut?
Riley Cooper is a football player, okay? He's a tight end. He's retired. He's out of the league now. I don't think he's retired. I think he just
know he had a tight end. If he had a tight end, yes, that's irrelevant to the story.
Anyway, okay.
Go ahead. So he's out there with his friends at a Kenny Chesney.
Yeah, with his buddies, with his white buddies. Okay. And then they get into a competition.
Wait a minute, you didn't tell us, is Cooper white or black?
White.
He's white. That's
well, you gotta let us know. That's important. They're all white.
You didn't let me finish.
Right, go ahead. They're all white.
I said he was at a concert. What brothers you gonna be at a Kenny Chesney concert? I really gotta figure. Anyway, no, I take that back. It could be some. Okay, it could be some, and I'm quite sure it was. A lot of African Americans like country music. Country music. I got nothing against country music. Okay, I just told you about Glenn Campbell. How would I know that?
Go ahead. So he's at the concert. With
his white buddies. They get into it with, I don't know, some kind of disagreement with somebody, and he's being taped. Somebody's taping him at this time. Okay. And what does he say? I'll fight any in here. That's what he said on camera.
Okay.
Then everybody in the nation sees it, and he plays for the Philadelphia Eagles. Well, damn near everybody on the team is black. Now, how do you think he felt when he came back? And he had to apologize because he said, I wasn't raised like this. But see, my point is this, Luis, at the most inopportune time, what you've been taught as a child can come out at the most inopportune time, especially with white people when you're around your own and you don't think nobody else is listening. Now, did Riley Cooper lose his job? You know who stood up for him? A quarterback, a black quarterback. You who stood up for him, Vince? You know who?
Who?
Michael Vick. Because Michael Vick knows you out with your buddies, drinking, having a good time. That's when your real racist tendencies and epithets can come out. Nobody's above it, Vince. Nobody. So my thing is this to Lewis. Don't try to act like Hulk Hogan is something different than any other white man in the continental United States of America. Because at the most inopportune time, saying a word is something like Riley Cooper did. Because around his buddies, that's probably how they talk.
Yeah.
Because around me and my buddies, we talk a certain way when I'm not around certain people. We all in certain communities do this, Lewis, even you. So if you lost respect for Hogan, I have nothing. I'm not saying not to have respect for him. What I'm saying, what I'm coming from is a personal relationship with a man that has never showed racist tendencies around me and other black guys in the business. Go ahead, Vince.
I gotta say this though, man, and Carl, I want to ask you about this, and I do have to say this, Stevie, because I'm seeing this a lot, Carl. In the African American community. You guys know, man, you know, Jonathan Coachman's my buddy. Okay, you guys know
what do you got to do with this?
He's black.
Oh, is he?
Yes.
Okay.
Mark Henry. You know,
okay.
we all know Mark Henry. Work with Mark Henry. A lot of black wrestlers. Now, granted, Stevie worked with Hulk. A lot of these guys, they didn't really work with him. They were, you know, their era was a different time.
Right.
Carl, what I keep hearing over and over, like when I'm looking at Hulk Hogan now, okay, and I'm looking at that incident where he used the N-word, okay, how I'm looking at that, Carl, honestly, is, bro, the dude effed up. I mean, it's that simple. Like we're all flawed. Like he effed up. It's that I'm pretty sure
nobody ever defended that though.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And I'm pretty
nobody black defended that. Nobody.
Right. But Carl, here's what I'm hearing a lot from the African American group. In his death, I'm conflicted. Because yes, he's Hulk Hogan, but I can't forgive those comments. And I'm hearing that from a lot of people in the black community who, even in his death, are conflicted by those comments. So, like, I want to ask you again, I'm asking you a question as a stupid white guy. Is that a black thing or a white thing? Because as a white guy, like, I recognize, brother, you done effed up. You done it. There's no question about it. You effed up. But I also looked at it like, bro, he effed up. We're all flawed. We all make mistakes. And I'm not going to hold that against the guy in his death because he's a human being, bro. He's a human being and he effed up. But it seemed to have really cut African Americans that they can't just let that go, that it's really staying with them.
So you got to look at this is not isolated. It's not happening in isolation, right? There's to take a term from a former president, a malaise when it comes to race relations in America right now. And like, you know, a lot of it has to do with who's in the White House, you know, things that have happened over the past 20, 25 years in particular, you know, since the advent of social media, seeing things. You look at Black Lives Matter movement, the different things that have happened and all of that. There is a level of they're just tired of stuff and they're tired of forgiving, tired of letting stuff roll off their backs, tired of being like, okay, it's like the confliction is at what point are we allowed to be just mad? And why do we have to forgive? Now, Carl, as an individual, very forgiving. Like I said, I got a tattoo on my arm because I've been forgiven of a lot of stuff. So I have more grace than some people. But some people are tired of having grace. It's like, man, he did that. And then to add to it, he did support Donald Trump. That is, and there's an emotional connection to that as well. And, you know, like people are literally saying, yeah, I grew up on Hulk Hogan. I was a huge Hulk Hogan fan. All these things that they're saying. And they're like, but towards the end of his life, the only things they really heard from him were things that are considered anti-blacks. Because once the thing happened with the N-word and him talking, you know, saying that, then it's like, okay, we don't hear much else from you until you come out supporting Donald Trump. No matter how far in between it was like, okay, so you really didn't like us like that. While I don't necessarily believe it's true, but the picture has been painted that way. And I'll be honest, it's more of a liberal thing than a black thing. It just so happens that many blacks identify as liberal, because liberal whites are the same way. If you think that the people in LA that were booing Hulk Hogan were black, they weren't. They were white. There wasn't a bunch of black folk in there. So it's the fact that he has chosen a side and he has done actions that many of those who identify as liberal consider unredeemable. There's nothing you can do to redeem yourself from what happened. And so it's like, the confliction is like, dag, oh, he died. I kind of want to mourn my childhood, but towards the end of his life, I hated this man. I was trained to hate him. So that's kind of where it goes down to. I mean, and then, you got to look at what people are inundated with on a daily basis. You look at social media. I mean, like you said, Coach works for ESPN. If you think that, that they don't have a certain ethos and way that they have people thinking even over there, they're going to feel a certain way. Like they are, you can kind of see there's a certain narrative that comes out about certain things. And they're trained to, and it doesn't have to be said that way. You're kind of trained to think and say certain things when you're in certain environments.
Steve, you want to hear something interesting? And again, I think it goes back to Stevie. Stevie always goes back to like what's instilled in us when we're younger that we don't even realize. Stevie taught me that very, very early on, like episode 1. Mm-hmm. You guys want to hear an interesting story? Stevie, Elijah Burke, right?
Yeah.
The wrestler, D'Angelo De Niro.
I know you're talking about.
Call, him,
I know
right?
He is. I know he is.
Call Elijah Burke. You don't know Elijah Burke? The Pope on TNA?
Oh, okay. The Pope. Okay,
D'Angelo De Niro. Okay.
I know his real name. Yeah.
I'm the head writer at I'm the head writer at TNA. Bro, this dude, perhaps out of maybe top 3 of people I worked with, dripped charisma, bro. Mm-hmm. This guy had it. The gift of gab, the look. I was so high on this talent. Really, really talented, bro. Really well-spoken, smart, but an entertainer at heart, right? So Stevie and Carl, we're in a creative meeting, and me, Ed Ferrara, Eric Bischoff, we all make the decision to put the TNA world title on Elijah Burke. Unanimously. We all feel the same way about the guy, right? Mm-hmm. So we all agree to do it. We get to the show, and here comes Eric. And Hulk has put the X-nay on putting the belt on Elijah Burke. Bro, I have to tell you, at that moment, I did not feel for a second it had anything to do with race. And I'll tell you why. Because when you look throughout Hulk Hogan's history, bro, if Hulk Hogan thought he could make money with you, he didn't give a shit what color you were, in my opinion. Let's go to Zeus and Over the Top. And Hogan was in a program with a guy that wasn't even a freaking wrestler, that had zero talent.
What about the years he did with Kamala?
Yeah, Kamala. He was all about business and money. But here's the interesting thing, though, when it comes to what Stevie said. Carl, you know what? When I asked the question why, I never got an answer. Because I didn't understand it. I didn't understand the why. Like, this guy had it all. But there was something And you know what, bro? I never got that answer. And that's why when Stevie talks about this, that's why I always think, the stuff that is like really deep inside, like in the core of who we are, based on hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years that we don't even realize and understand.
So,
exactly. Can I say something there, Carl, before you go?
Yes, sir.
From a wrestling standpoint, De Niro is not the only guy that Hulk Hogan has kept from working with him for unknown reasons. We hear Bret Hart talk about that all the time.
But it wasn't. But hold on, Stevie. Just so you understand, it wasn't. It wasn't working with Hulk. Hulk wasn't even wrestling at the time.
No. I know what you're saying. But I'm just making a correlation from wrestling, from the wrestling business.
Yes.
Just so fans can get an understanding of where we're coming from.
Yeah.
How many guys, like I've said, people have brought this up, and I wasn't finished when I was talking about Mr. Lewis. I wasn't finished before we moved on. You moved on the call, but now we're talking about two totally different things.
Oh, go ahead, go finish.
How Carl was putting everything in context, which is 100% right. But I don't think from where Lewis was coming from has anything to do with politics, and I don't think the average African American thinks in a political way to judge people, especially when it comes to somebody aligning with Donald Trump, because a lot of black people aligned with Donald Trump as far as that goes. So we can't, in a lot of ways,
can't only put it on that. Yeah.
Right. I think in a lot of ways, I think that's legitimate in a lot of ways, especially as it pertains to today. But back in the mid 2000s, and when all this stuff started, the late 2000s, whatever it was, 2007 or whatever, I think we're talking about something totally different. But my thing is what I was trying to chronicle on the last show. Racism to me, when people say racial epithets like Riley Cooper, you can be forgiven. What did Jesus tell his disciples when everybody wanted to get on Mary Magdalene? What did he say? He without sin throw the first stone. Am I not right, Carl? You keep up with religion way more than I do.
That's what. So the tattoo I have, Luke 7:47.
Okay,
he was talking about Mary Magdalene. Right. And they was like, "What's she doing?"
Yeah, Vince. You didn't think I knew that, right? You didn't think old Ray Dog knew about that stuff, right?
Mary Magdalene was Italian, by the way. Go ahead, Stevie.
It was black.
So was Pontius Pilate. How many people did he kill?
Go ahead, Stevie.
Now Pilate was Italian.
Go ahead.
Don't be trying to come up here and put no Italians over. Oh no! Don't put no Italians over on no Ray Dog. See how y'all always try to pick out the good Italians. He never say nothing about Mussolini, does he?
Go ahead, Stevie. Continue with
that. No, I'm just saying. Don't be trying to sneak your little gimmicks in on me. But anyway, that's what I'm talking about when it comes to a younger generation that don't know. You're too emotional when it comes to thing of race. You want to get so overly pissed off about something that's really academic to what real racism really, really is. And I've chronicled that on this show, but the narrow mind never hears what he needs to hear. He wants to hear what he wants to hear. Racism is when a government can give a cop a reason to take dominion over you and take your life, and there's nothing you can do about it. That's systemic racism passed down from generation to generation to generation, and then give those same police officers qualified immunity. Do you know what qualified immunity is? Qualified immunity is when I make a mistake like blowing your brains out, I won't even get prosecuted for it. Unless the federal government comes down on me. Like what happened with Rodney King. That's qualified immunity. Do you know where qualified immunity come from? The civil rights movement.
Yeah.
You see how things work, Lewis? Because you guys don't know your history. I'm not going to lose my cool over a white man saying the N-word because White people do it every day. But when you implement racism, okay, when you keep a man from working and taking care of his family, when you get him fired and he can't take care of his family and this, that, and the other, when you put him in jail because you got private prisons that are being traded on Wall Street and they need people in them like a hotel. Who bitches about that? You want to bring up the hip hop community that you grew up in? Well, that same community takes that as a label of baller, like going to Vietnam. I went to jail. So in essence, you're implementing exactly what they put out there for you, and you're falling for the trap. So don't get mad at me for telling you the truth, Lewis, because I really don't care about the hip hop game. I really don't care, because you done played into the trap that they set for you. Who controls the money of hip hop? Lewis. Who controls the money? You come up with the ideas, they take it and make the money off you, and then control your life, the whole thing, a whole way after that. That's racism. They sit in boardrooms and make these decisions up. That's racism. Don't get mad at me, because I know what I'm talking about. I told Hogan at our Hall of Fame deal, because I brought him up in my Hall of Fame piece, and I told him, brother, you ain't got to worry about that from us, brother. Me and my brother told him this, and I ain't never said this before. We told him, brother, we ain't got nothing against you for that. We can forgive you for that. And he was trying to explain, well, man, it was just, I'm like, dog, you ain't got to explain it to me, brother. I get it. I get it. Like I said, if my daughter brought home somebody that looked similar to Vince Russo, she cut off.